You're listening to the Chronicles of Living podcast, where we talk to everyday people about everyday things in the past, present, and future. Now let's talk. Greetings, my visionary dreamers. How is everybody doing on this Let's Talk Sundays? I'm doing very, very well myself. I actually had the day off. Me and my colleague, we kind of switched some days around, so I forgot. She told me yesterday. I was like, oh, okay. I stayed up late and caught a movie, and I slept late, and I feel great. And I hope everybody had an awesome weekend. I really do. It's really raining really bad where I am. I don't know what the weather is where you are. But this is Adionne, and this is your life, your dream pusher. I was going to say lifeguard. Your dream pusher, your lifeguard, saving you from the world, saving you from yourself. Just get out your own way. Get out of your own way. It's time to do the damn thing. And today's topic is be grateful for everything and regret nothing. Seriously, be grateful for everything and regret nothing. And this is Chronicles of Livin podcast show. And to those who are joining me for the first time, thank you. I just want to thank everybody that's been supporting this podcast thus far. I really appreciate you all. You are helping this podcast reach other platforms and be accepted to other platforms. I have more in the works, and I will let you know when I get the report back for the next platforms. Hopefully that you can listen to this podcast. You don't always just have to come here to Spreaker. And some of my friends and family members, they were like, oh, I missed the show. But if you ever miss a show when I'm going live, you can always go back to the pre-recorded show. I mean, once it's live, it's recorded. So you can go back through the archive and listen to whatever show you want, whatever title hits you. And prayerfully, it will hit you, and it will motivate you and encourage you for whatever it is that you need it to do for you. That is the purpose. This podcast is created for everyday people doing everyday things, living everyday life. I keep it real simple, so for those who want me to be all on the corporate, professional, whatever, this is not the podcast for you. I keeps it all the way real. I'm very transparent to some of my friends and family that just started getting invited to the podcast. You listen back to some of them. Some of the stuff that you hear me being transparent about, you're probably going to be shocked about. But God just put this on my heart to do, and I decided to do this topic today for that very reason, because I just woke up this morning I'm always grateful, and I'm always thanking God every morning, but it just was something different about this morning that it just was on my heart heavy to make sure that this is the show for today, because I think that as we go to our day-to-day lives, we just start taking a few things for granted. We take things for granted. We take people for granted. Because we're so used to it. We're so used to certain things going a certain way, or we're so used to certain people being there for us anytime we need them. And we just lose track of giving gratitude, or just, letting them know we appreciate them. Sometimes we can look at our lives and just don't appreciate our lives, and not realizing that, it could be so much worse. A lot of people just think, just because they might not have money in their pocket, or they, they lost a job, or they lost a home, or lost a car, or things of that nature, that they don't have nothing to be grateful for. But I say to you today, everything that has happened in your life whether you think it's bad, trust me, there is something in it that you have to be grateful about. Like for me, I do hear some folks up here, so hopefully they don't come in here and disturb this podcast. Hey, oh, I know who it is. Like for me, if I think of something that's major, what I have to be grateful about, even though my relationship with my son's father was not a great one, I'm grateful for my son. I'm grateful for my stepson. I'm grateful, even though my girlfriend passed away at a very young age, I'm grateful that I'm able to live up to the promise that I made her and be there for my daughter. You know what I'm saying? It's so many things that we view as bad, and then we look at it and we just like, oh, my life is horrible or whatever. And you just can't see the beauty in it. You know what I mean? And that's a sad thing when you're a person that's caught up in all complaints. And what you need to realize is this: the more you complain, the more things are going to go wrong. The more grateful you are, the more things are going to go right. Sure, in between, you're going to have your trials, your tribulations, you're going to have your struggles, your obstacles, but it's all to make us grow. It's all to make us stronger beings. It's all to make us be able to start analyzing and see the things within us that we need to work on, I mean, if you've been listening and following, I've told you that I've moved. I think I'm up to about 30 times in my life, and I'm only 47. And I've had that many jobs as well. I've worked like a couple jobs at the same time. And I'm grateful, though. I'm grateful that I was able to get that many jobs. You got people out here that go 2-5 years and can't get a job. I'm grateful that God allows me to have the confidence, the talents, and the ability to just say, you know what? Okay, this situation went south, or it's just not working out. Whatever the reason was, not all the jobs. My jobs were good. I met a lot of great people along the way. But for whatever reason, when I moved, of course, I wound up getting another job, So, but for me, if you listen, I can't remember which podcast, but this is my path in life. My path in life is I'm a traveler. And on my travels, I'm able to touch people's hearts in different ways, or lend my gifts and my talents to them to help them out in whatever situation that they're in. You know what I mean? And it took me all these years to embrace that, because I was thinking that it was something wrong with me, because majority of the people will live a certain place for a certain amount of years, and they might just move maybe like 3 times out of their lifetime, if that, so I was thinking, okay, maybe it's something wrong with me. But then when I started really analyzing my journey and my growth and the stages through my journey, where I grew up, I'm grateful that I grew up in the hood. I had a ball as a young person, in the hood. Where I grew up, it taught me survival skills. It taught me, how to think outside the box. And it wasn't bad. I'm not going to say that. But you know how they say urban area, if, the houses aren't a certain way or whatever, or worth a certain amount. So I'm not saying that is where I grew up is bad, but it taught me a whole lot, that I know that if I would have grew up in a different place, maybe in the suburbs, I might not have the compassion that I have. I might not be as humble as I am. I might not be able to connect to the people that I can connect to now. I might not be able to have the understanding that I have, and how I, when I look at a person and what they've been through, I'm able to talk to them. I'm able to relate to them because of all the things that I've been through in my life. So I'm grateful that I went through the struggle of not having water, gas, electric, or whatever at some point in my life. I'm grateful that, I lost a car, a house, or whatever. I'm grateful for all of that, because all of it teaches you. It teaches you a lesson. It gives you strength. It helps you for the next hill that you got to climb. And this is where we just we just don't look at it that way. I mean, of course, in the midst of your struggle, in the midst of your obstacle, you just like, God, take it away. But no, what you need to pray is, God, show me what you trying to teach me out of this situation, and show me how I need to deal with it. You know what I mean? Give me the comfort that I need while I'm going through this. You know, I'm grateful for my haters. I'm grateful for the people that told lies on me. I'm grateful. You don't understand. I mean, I'm so grateful for all of this stuff, because now that I realize my purpose in life, now that I realize that our experiences is what make us, you know, you can sit up here and tell me, oh, well, you know, I used to play ball and I was thinking I was going to go to the NFL, or I was going to go to the, you know, major leagues, and I hurt myself and now I don't have nothing to do with my life. Well, no, I just watched, what's his name? I want to say Inky Johnson. I just watched something, I watch a lot of documentaries, and this is probably why I'm like I am. But I watched a documentary on this guy named Inky Johnson, and I'm going to have to put their names in the tags, but basically, you know, he was just coming out of high school, and all of these people were looking at him to play in the NFL, and he only had, I think, 10 games to go, and he got hit really, really bad, and now his arm, I think it's his right arm, is pretty much paralyzed. It's like a slinky. And he realized, he thought that his life was over, and now he's like going around and speaking to so many people. He is an awesome, awesome motivational speaker. Inky Johnson, you might want to look him up if you are a person that thought that you was going to go and play any type of sports and life turned around. I think he'll be some good motivation for you. Then there's a guy named, and some of these last names, I don't know, Nicholas, I'm going to have to put his name down, but he doesn't have any arms and legs, and he's a pastor, and he goes and tours the world and talks to people, motivates people. You think about our Olympic star, what's her name? I have her name down here. What is her name? The one that won all the gold medals for us. Her name is, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank, but I'll get it. It'll come back to me. But I don't know if you realize, but she basically, her mother and her father was on drugs. They were addicted, and then her brothers and her sisters wound up going into foster care, and then her grandpa wound up adopting her, and then that's how she wound up getting into gymnastics. So, you know, like I'm saying, well, you need to look at something that you would think, oh, wow, you know, she didn't grow up with her mom and her dad, and, you know, she had to go with her grandpa. But the beauty in this is this. What if she would have stayed with her parents, you know? Hopefully they kicked their addiction and everything. But do you really think that she would be the Olympic star she is today? I doubt it. You know what I mean? I doubt it. Her life probably would have took a different course. And this is what I'm saying about, you got to start analyzing and looking at your life and saying to yourself, you know, it's something good that's going to come out of this. It's got to be something good, because I wouldn't be going through this. Now, sometimes we kind of do some things to ourselves. We kind of put ourselves in different situations. But even in that, with all of that, you might put yourself in a certain situation. You know, you might get into a bad relationship. You might get addicted to drugs or whatever. But at some point in your life, majority of the times, you're going to come to yourself and realize, you know what, this is not the right path for me, and take a different course. And when you do that, you're going to have something that you can reflect back on. And that's an accomplishment. That's an accomplishment that you overcame. And that's something that you need to be grateful for, you know. It's like, I'm so grateful for my friends and my family, you know, even the friends that I don't really talk to anymore, because I have learned something from all of them. It might not be, you know, in different ways. I've had, even though I'm self-taught in a lot of different areas, I've had friends that took the time out to sit with me and teach me their skill, and then I was able to go from there and enhance it. I've had friends that barter deal with me, and let's share our talents, and you do this for me and I do this for you, that I can just call on, and I know they got my back if I'm involved in a situation, and I have theirs as well. Even the relationships that didn't work out for me, I'm grateful for them, because within those relationships I've learned something from them, and I'm sure they learned something from me. You know what I mean? I learned more of who I am. I learned my value. I learned my worth. I learned a whole lot. I learned things that I needed to fix within me while I was in that relationship, and I just try my best to look at what good came out of that. You know what I mean? And I'm still cool with, I don't want to say exes. I got to find another word, because exes just sound so like, oh, it's so bad. But my past relationships, I say that. I appreciate each and every last one of them. I appreciate my family being there to support me and the talents and the gifts. And I'm such a dreamer, and all the ventures that I have. I appreciate that they took time out of their lives to invest, even though it was for all of us to come up and get money. But the point was, they believed in the idea. They believed in the dream, just as much as I did when they were involved in supporting whatever the project was. I'm grateful to that. It's so many people out here that don't have family, that don't have friends. They're loners, And so that's what I'm saying. You got to be grateful. Like, I'm grateful that, even though my grandparents are gone, I'm grateful for the experience that I had with each and every last one of them. I'm grateful that my grandpa taught me that anything is possible. He taught me how to research. It's so many things that I got out of just that got me where I am today. My grandma, I was making my bed this morning, and I just laughed to myself, because I can clearly remember my grandma saying on my mom's side, always make sure you make up your bed in the morning, because you just never know. You never know who might pop up. You never know, whatever. You never know if you get sick and you got to go. Always make sure you got clean underwear on. Just little lessons like that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't get taught those type of things. My grandma taught me how to pray. She was the one that took me to church. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, without that, I wouldn't even know what God was. Even though in between the times growing up, I might have slid to the side and got buck wild for a while, but I came back to it. My mom just being so supportive. My mom is just the most supportive person. Just, you know what I mean? Just learning from her, being in the studio at a young age and watching her sew, and just when I call on her, she got my back, and no matter where she is, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my son, my kids, just that they pull my coattail. You know what I mean? Even though they're younger than me, they pull my coattail in different ways. They might let me see that some of the things that I need to work on within myself, And a lot of times we just think, oh, our kids is young. They don't know more than us. No, a lot of times you really need to pay attention to your kids, because sometimes your kids know better than you. We just write it off like, you too young, you don't know. No, I remember when I was young, me and my son, I think he was when my son was young, I think he might have been like 11 or something. But we had a good conversation about one of my past relationships, and he was like, Mom, you think that I don't know because I'm young, but I know. I was like, okay, excuse me. So, her name was Simone. It was bothering me. Simone, and because I know a lot of y'all probably chewing me out. What you mean you don't know her name? Simone. That's the gymnast that won all the medals and stuff. And then, like, another example is, you just think like, oh, well, I got this affliction. I can't do this and do that. I can remember me and my son we used to love watching The Amazing Race. And there was this surfer what was her name? Gosh, Lee, I had all their names written down. I have so much stuff written down, y'all, I can't even see. I write so many notes. But this surfer, and when she was young, Bethany Hamilton, and when she was 13, she was surfing and a shark bit her arm off. And she went on to she write books, and she's a speaker, and she was on an amazing race. And let me tell you something. This woman was out. She was just passing everybody, beating the men and the women. And the men and the women in the race was like talking about it all the time. Like, dang, how she just get there before us with one arm. Because she was grateful for what she had to work with, and she used it to her full ability. She didn't make any excuses. And then we have us here, most of us, everything working on us, and we still complaining. We're still not happy. We're still, don't acknowledge what we do have. We still don't acknowledge that we wake up every morning, we got breath in our body. Some of us might take some meds or whatever, but at least you can pop the pill in your mouth. Like, I'm not for the meds, but you know what I'm saying? It's like we got to learn to be grateful, because when you are grateful, that's when more comes your way. That's when more people with positive energy cross your path. That's just when more opportunities open for you. It's kind of like God is saying, okay, since you're grateful for this, I'm going to give you this. Since you're grateful for that, I'm going to give you, you know what I mean? It's just, I really truly believe this is why I've been blessed with so many talents and gifts, because I have been grateful, and I've never taken any of my gifts and talents for granted. Everything that I believe God put on my heart, I set out to do, whether it flourished or not, in the way that I wanted. But I went after it with my whole heart, because I was grateful that God, I was honored that He would even trust me with the gifts and the talents that He trusts me with. So why would I take that for granted and not try to share it? Like right now, my gift is talking. Some people say, oh, you talk too much, whatever. But I'm here to talk to you. This is how I can have a long, extended conversation and hopefully share words of value, within this, because I'm being transparent and I'm sharing my stories. There was another documentary I watched, one, and I don't want to jack up her name. What is her name? It is, gosh, I wrote her name down too. Like I said, my notes are so crazy all over the place. Her name is, I want to get it right, Immacule'e. I'm not even going to attempt her last name. Immacule'e. Well, she was in Rwanda, the Holocaust in Rwanda that happened years ago, and when they had the genocide, and her pastor had let her and I think it was 7 other women stay in his bathroom. He had this bathroom, kind of hidden bathroom or whatever, for 91 days, and they had to be quiet. They couldn't say nothing. Now, could you imagine being in a bathroom, and it was a small bathroom, for 91 days with 7 people? You can't really eat. I mean, you can imagine what it smelled like, okay? You can't talk, because every day the soldiers would come in the house looking for people, and the walls were real thin, so they couldn't cough, they couldn't do nothing. 91 days. She had lost all this weight, but after the whole war was over, she got out and she was able to make it to, the story in short, she was able to make it to the United States. And now she's a book author. She's out here helping all of these orphans and, touring the world. And a lot of people would look at that and just complain, where she took, not only did that build her faith, that situation built her faith, even though she was in the midst of that situation for 91 days in that bathroom, most people would look at it like, God, what are you doing to me? Like, why am I here? But instead, she took the high road and she just believed and, prayed to God on a daily, and she came out unharmed. These were people that she went to school with, killed her whole family. The only ones that survived out of her family, she had 2 brothers that got killed, a mother and a father, and her brother and her survived. The only reason why her other brother survived was because he just happened to be studying abroad and he didn't even know what was going on. So God spared his life. And this is what I'm saying. She's grateful for it. And just like I talked to y'all the other day about forgiveness, if this woman can forgive the killers, these are people she went to school with, she hung out with, killed her family. She can't see her family no more. And she forgave them. And she got over that. And because she forgave them, that's why she's able to function the way she's functioning, and why she's able to be so blessed and all these opportunities are coming her way. Because she's grateful. We get so caught up in what we don't have. We don't never look at what we do have and be grateful for it. I mean, really, y'all know I like to give out the homework. And I think I probably gave this homework out before. But you really need to just, at some point, hopefully, maybe after this podcast, maybe now while I'm talking to you, just start writing down. Open up a book, get a sheet of paper, and just start writing down the things that you're grateful for. After the podcast, start calling some folk up and just let them know, listen, I'm grateful for you. Now, I'm going to say this here and now. I apologize to a lot of people, to my family and my friends, because it's really hard for me to use the phone because my reception is horrible. Literally, when I text you, I have to keep the phone sitting in a certain little spot. If I move it, it won't work. So it's kind of hard to have conversations here. I have to really go out and do it. So, and that's kind of a bit too much sometimes to be just going out, just having a conversation. So just know, if I haven't talked to you in a while, y'all know I love y'all. Everybody that know me, y'all know I love y'all. I appreciate all of y'all. I appreciate, even though my father was here and there, I appreciate the fact that I was just laughing with my girlfriend the other day. We was talking about when we learned how to drive or whatever. Like, no, matter of fact, I was talking to my son about driving, and I realized that the first time that I drove, even though my father was like here and there, but he was the one that took me out to drive. He came over one day. He was drunk. That's how I was able to talk him into let me drive. I think I might have been like 16, and I asked him. I said, "Listen, can I drive?" And he was like, "You can drive." I said, "Yeah." Never drove a day in my life, and because he was intoxicated, he was like, "All right." Took me on a major street. For those who live in Philadelphia, took me on Broad Street, and I was like, and it was dark, so it was like crowded. But I remember that, and if that's one of the major things that I got out for me, that was good, because it started me driving. You know what I'm saying? And this is what we don't look at. We don't look at the small things that affect our lives in a big way. We just focus on what we didn't get out of a person. We focus on the things that went wrong. We focus on that. And then what we don't realize is this. The more we focus on what we don't get out of a person, the more we're not going to get something out of a person. I'm here to tell you. I know from experience. But the more you focus on, I don't care if that person got one thing that you just love about them. Unless the relationship has ran its course, or unless, but if you don't feel as though the relationship ran its course, start focusing on the small things. I mean, do they clean up behind themselves, take out the trash, whatever? Are they a provider? Do they bring you, make sure the bills are paid? Focus on, are they a good father, or do they interact with your kids, the way you never had interaction with your father or whatever. Don't hold people. Don't hold stuff over people's head. A lot of us grew up without a mother or a father, and we might hold that with deep inside of us and say, oh, well, my life was this. But you don't understand that maybe it wasn't meant for that father or that mother to be in your life, because maybe you wouldn't be who you are now. And then for those who might say, oh no, I think I would have been a better person. No, I just really truly believe that everything is all for our good. I truly know that my son's father not being around was a blessing in disguise. I mean, like I said, I'm not coming on here to bash anybody. You know, like I said before, he had good qualities about himself, and I'm grateful for my son. But the lifestyle that he chose to live was not good for my son. So I'm grateful to God that he kept him away, because then that would have been a struggle. You know what I'm saying? And I always talk to my son, you know, my stepson. I always make sure they know that, listen, it's not nothing about y'all. We are responsible for our lives. We are responsible individually for our lives. We cannot blame nobody else. We cannot blame our upbringing. We can't, because there's too many people out here that took and spun their whole life around, regardless of their folk, regardless of their household, regardless of how they were brought up. They made up in their mind, you know what? This is what I want out of life. This is my gift. This is my purpose. I'm going after it, regardless of what's behind me. You take somebody like Tyler Perry. He had an abusive father, you know, and he lived out of his car. He was homeless following his dreams. And now look at him. Hollywood didn't want him. What did he do? He made his own Hollywood, you know? So him doing that created a whole lot of jobs and helped some. If you really look at some of the people that he has in his movies, they're actors that wasn't on the scene for a long time. You know, he employed a lot of people. And so he got over the fact that, oh, he had an abusive father and he was homeless. He was grateful for what he had, and he worked with what he had and did what he had to do to get what he wanted out of life, to go ahead and follow his purpose and his dreams and his visions. And this is why I call y'all visionary dreamers, because I want it to stick in your head. When I say visionary dreamers, I'm not just talking about people that are good in the art area or inventors or, you know, dreamers just like me, where they just think of an idea and go for it. I'm talking about us as individuals. We all are dreamers, whether we realize it or not. We dream that we want to have this perfect family. We want to have a good relationship with our kids. We want to have a dog, a good dog to keep us company, cat, whatever. We dream about the things that we want. We visualize the things that we want. We want a better job. We want, you know, a better career. We want to go back to school. That is all a part of being a dreamer. People think that dreamers are just people that are risk takers and go after things of the arts. No, dreamers are all of us. All of us, you know. We dream that our kids will be saved, and our loved ones, our spouses, that they're going to be safe, and that's all. It's all a part of it. But in that, we have to learn to be grateful when we have kids or spouses or family members and friends that come home, and every day you could pick up the phone and you could talk to them. That's something to be grateful about. People drop off, and one of my exes, I was, you know, going back and forth. We was texting the other day, and he was just saying how he was playing ball, and one of the guys just dropped dead on the court. And he was, I think, 48, 45, something like that. Just had a heart attack, just dropped dead on the court. And everybody thought he was well. And this is what I'm saying. You don't know from day to day what's going to happen. You don't know. One of the stories that I read about was, I want to get her name right. Let me see. I know I wrote it down. I think it's Alana Nichols. And she was snowboarding. She used to snowboard, and she did a backflip. She was at 17 years old. She did a backflip. And can you imagine? She did a backflip and landed on her back on a rock. And then from there, her whole career, to anybody else, they would have looked at it like, oh, it's over. It's over. But no, she didn't do that. She wound up going into wheelchair basketball. Go figure that. Started playing wheelchair basketball for the Olympics, for, the disability league. I don't know how to say it, but she wound up winning all these medals for the U.S. team. And then she wound up, I think she went into down ski, and I think at a little, how you sit down, and wound up winning medals that way. And why am I telling y'all about these people that y'all don't know? I'm telling y'all this because just so y'all can know, there is no excuse. These are people that life happened to. And they took life by the head and said, you know what? They choked the mess out of it. It was like, you know what? You're not going to get me. My life is not over. I choose to live. I choose to continue to pursue what I have left in me. I'm going to find another way to make it happen. I might have to take another course on this journey, but you got to understand, sometimes a detour is a shortcut to your destiny. I'm going to say it again. A detour is a shortcut to your destiny sometimes. So you need to embrace the detour. Things are not going to always work out the way you want it to in life. You just got to start focusing on your accomplishments. If you keep focusing on when you down and out, when you're not feeling good about yourself, you need to probably pull out a book and start writing down, what did I accomplish in my life? Look back. You accomplished something. I don't care how bad you think your life is. You did accomplish something in your life. I don't care if it's one thing that you feel like, oh, this is an accomplishment. When I was in elementary school, I made the honor roll. You know what I'm saying? Even if you got to go all the way back to elementary school, maybe you need to get back to that energy. Yeah, you was a kid. Maybe you need to get that kid energy back. A lot of us start getting older and we start getting older. You get what I'm saying? We start getting older and we start getting older. We let our mindset go there. Oh, I'm 40 years old. Oh, I'm 50 years old. Oh, I'm too old. And you go to work, come home, sit down, eat, watch TV, go to bed, do it all over again. Just no life. I can't even call people after hours if I wanted to. Everybody is in the bed by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I'm still up, all energetic. I saw somebody the other day. I was setting up for an event, and it was early in the morning, and one of the older ladies, she didn't see who I was, and she saw me later. She was like, I was wondering who was that coming all out with all that energy, just walking all fast. I was like, yeah, I told her, I said, I don't know where I get the energy from, but I'm just grateful to God. I'm grateful to God that he allows me to continue to have the energy that I have, because I enjoy life with the bad stuff that goes on. Nobody has a perfect life, y'all. Nobody. Show me somebody with a perfect life. You show me. Please prove me wrong. Nobody has a perfect life. So I'm about to hit my 40-minute mark. But I'm going to say, think about artists like Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder, blind. But they still went after their gift. They still... And still to the day, majorly expected. They done made a movie out of Ray Charles' life. And I just watched Stevie Wonder on some show, some live event he was on, and still sounding good. They didn't let their handicap get in the way. They did not. So how is it that many of us out here don't have any handicaps, but we continue to let life get in the way? We got to stop doing that, y'all, because you don't want to get to the age when you just can't do anything and you sitting there like shoulda, coulda, woulda. That is a horrible feeling. You don't want to do that. So I'm going to say to you guys, live your life. As I say, the best part of life is when you decide to live. That is the best part. And I'm not saying, because you might be hitting the clubs. That's not living. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about embracing who you are fully, embracing who you all are with your flaws and all. and working on them, working through them. Not thinking about the past. The past is the past for a reason. Move on. Keep it moving. And you got to understand that some people are a part of your history and some people are a part of your destiny. You got to understand that. And once you get that in your mindset, then you won't feel like, oh, wow, you have to stay connected to certain people if those certain people are not, it's just not benefiting you. And I don't mean benefit you in a way of using, I mean like your growth. If you're growing at a certain rate, it's not saying that you're better than, it's just that everybody has their own purpose. Everybody has their own path. Everybody has their own assignment in life. So you can't hold up the baton because they not growing at your rate. It's for a reason. It is all for a reason. So I'm going to leave y'all with that. I want to share one last story. So it's this guy named Baxter Humby. And at birth, he was born normal. But what happened was his, I can't never say that word, umbilical cord got entangled around his arm. And so they wound up having to cut his arm off at birth. Well, he went on to become like a champion kickboxer. And dig this. He was the stuntman for Spider-Man 3. He was a stuntman with one arm. Okay. So, with film, they did whatever they had to do. But he was a stuntman. So he's a stuntman. He's a kickboxer. He didn't let that get in the way. And I just wanted to share those stories with y'all so y'all can stop making excuses, okay? Because if these people can work through it despite, their well-being, then y'all can work through it. Y'all can do anything that you put your mind to. Stop living that normal life. Go out there and do something exciting. Do something different. Please, do something different. The 9 to 5 and the job is going to always, just do something different. Go take up, if you a painter, just go take up a painting class just for fun. Go to a community center, teach some kids how to play basketball, teach some kids how to sing. Do something different. I'm challenging y'all to do something different with your life this year. So we almost at the end. I want y'all to start it this year, and then next year you're already in the flow of it. But do something, lend your talents, your gifts, your knowledge, your wisdom to others. Do it. So until tomorrow, 6:30 p.m., this is Adionne, your dream pusher, your lifeguard, saving you from the world, saving you from yourself. Get out your own way. Do the damn thing. I love you guys. Peace. Thank you for listening to Chronicles of Living, where we talk to everyday people about everyday things in the past, present, and future. And if you are pursuing your dreams, I'm proud of you. Because the best part of life is when you decide to live. To keep up with us, please visit chronicles-of-livin.com. Until next time, this is Adionne, your dream pusher. I love you guys.